Do you have your shot glass? We have to get into the right frame of mind for this. It's time to wake up to Tequila Sunrise. Greg White here, and I have spent my career starting, leading, deploying, and investing in supply chain tech. So we take a shot and talk founders, execs, investors, and companies in this hot industry. If you want a taste of how tech startup growth and investment is done, join me for another blinding Tequila Sunrise. Do you have your shot glass? We have to get into the right frame of mind for this. Hey. Hi, Karin.
Hi. Happy New Year.
So happy New Year's Eve, unless you are at this very moment, you're in Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, or Laos. It just turned midnight, so happy New Year in midnight, or in that part of the world. If you're in Sing or Oz or farther east yet than that, then it is already as late as 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And if you're just over the date line in Midway Island, it's almost a full day till New Year's for you, so hang tight. But it is New Year's Eve. We're going to call this a Tequila New Year, as well as a Tequila Sunrise. And of course, as you can see, my co-host, Karin Bursa, the supply and demand chain executive, pro to know of 2020, the pro to know of the year, is joining us. She's the adult supervision, folks. So welcome aboard, Karin.
Thank you. And happy Tequila New Year to you too.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Karin is also our host of Tech Talk, Digital Supply Chain Podcast. So if you want an adult version, grown-up version,
thank you,
right, of how to do tech in supply chain, and in fact, your most recent show is about how C-suite executives, what they need to know about S&OP planning, right? So,
yeah, absolutely. Sales and operations planning and inventory optimization and what it really means. And I think there's a few surprises in there.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm looking forward to that one. Well, so Scott made the mistake of handing over the mic to us, everyone. So hang on tight, because this is a real Tequila Sunrise episode. In fact, Karin, I don't know if you're ready, and I don't know who has or has not actually seen a Tequila Sunrise episode, but we always open the episode the same way, and that is with a shot. I do hope the FCC, yes. I hope the FCC is not watching. Karin, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Sunrise. Here we go. Away with 2020.
Kick it to the curb.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, now I'm ready.
All right. Let the party begin.
Yes, it is New Year's Eve, or as I said earlier, it may be New Year's where some of you are. So thank you for joining us. Wow, there are a few people joining us. AA is with us. Dave in Nairobi, Daria, Gary Smith. He'll be having some words about drinking on the air for me, I'm sure, later. Marie Hurst, Mike Avra. Wow, Coletta Vidal. Scott will be pleased to know that I've mispronounced somebody's name. So, but welcome. That's somebody new. Trisha Abida. Scott Luton is here, and he's looking forward to our conversation. So we are being monitored by the grown-ups here.
I was going to say, there's the adult supervision.
Yeah,
right
there he is. All right.
All right, good. David too.
Yep, Demo is here. Avinash. Wow, a lot of folks join us. Shreyansh Sagare. So I don't know where he is from. I'd love to hear where you're from, Shreyansh, because I have a feeling it might be late unless you're here in the States with us. So look, we talk a lot about give forward and what that means. So and today, Karin and I and one or two or maybe three secret guests are going to share what we love about the giving season, what Give Forward means, and how people can make giving a part of everything they do, every act you take, or at least easily make it part of your daily life. So what I'd like to do is introduce the catalyst for the whole Give Forward movement as our first guest. We might have to grab our shot glasses again. So we have a series called Logistics and Beyond, and that is all about companies with what I coined the Give Forward spirit. That series was originally introduced to us by Enrique Alvarez, the CEO of Vector Global Logistics. So let's bring him in and talk a little bit to Enrique. Go, Karin.
Just logistics with a purpose. There we go. Hey, Enrique.
Hey, Karin, how are you doing? Greg,
Great
to be here. And that was going to be my first comment, just correcting Greg on the name of the series.
What did I say?
Logistics and Beyond or something.
Oh, sorry. Logistics with Purpose.
Wrong show.
I got
Wrong
it right
show.
in the warm-up.
I don't think we need that shot after all, Greg.
So, Enrique, traditionally we take a shot. I happen to have notice ahead of time, yes, that you don't have a shot glass or tequila, which is probably good because this early in the show could be bad news for me. But
it's still a pleasure being here, and I will definitely owe you that shot at some point.
All right, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll have to have it at Bone Garden at some point. So look, you were the inspiration of the whole concept of Give Forward. I'm not even sure how I kind of coined the phrase. I think it was just probably because the companies you were introducing us to had made giving a part of their business plan. It was not giving back at all. It was giving as part of their business strategy. So share with us a little bit about how you got inspired by that, or anything you'd like to share about that. And then maybe a little bit about, if you've got a tip for folks on how giving can be easy, that would be cool too.
Yes, of course. And again, I think you're right. I think it was through one of the interviews that we had with the first guest that we had on the Logistics with Purpose series that you coined that phrase, and it's been part of the show ever since. And so Logistics with Purpose, and why in logistics and supply chains it's important to us as a company to do that. It's real simple. That's just part of our culture and values, and we believe that making a positive impact in the world is not only something that's nice to do, but we believe that's core in our culture and our strategic plan for growing. So for every container we ship, we donate to different causes, and then we also partner with different organizations to help them. And so the more you give, the more you get, I think is the way the saying goes. And from a very strategic standpoint, that's true. So the more we have given, the more amazing organizations come to us, the better we are prepared to help them, and the more we can give back. And on the plus side of all this is we believe that we're helping all these different organizations and companies and with their shipping needs, but in reality, they're helping us a lot more, because all of a sudden we will go from a team that's fully focused on doing the right things and operating in a very efficient and effective way. Instead of shipping a container, right? You're starting to ship hope or happiness or education. And of course, people are more inclined to work harder and with more passion if you think that whatever's inside that container is going to change the lives of children in Africa. So no, I got to say that from a strategic standpoint for us at Vector, giving back and making a positive impact in the world is front and center. And it's really just the way we conduct business.
Yeah, it's a really admirable core value that you have. And I agree, you get 10x whatever you give, right? And what a great way to enable people with a higher purpose. And that's so important these days, to know that they are shipping hope or education or necessary clothing and goods to people that not just help them better their lives, but in some cases really just survive on the basics, right? So appreciate what you guys do there. And I really appreciate the inspiration for the term, for this, and the continued introduction of folks who are doing it. It's just astounding to me. I mean, honestly, I thought we might run out of folks who are doing good as giving forward, right? But we just continue to find more and more for that series.
It's amazing how many people, and we're talking a little bit about this earlier today, about 2020 and what the year has been and what we have learned from it. And it's just amazing to me to experience that, right? There's a lot of people helping each other out there. There's so many good examples. And so just giving them a voice through the Logistics with Purpose series, it's so exciting, and we'll learn a lot just by listening to their advice. So no, I'm with you. There's a lot of people doing great things out there, and we should just be able to focus on that as opposed to some of the more negative aspects of what media usually focus on.
No doubt. No, and that's what we're here for today. So,
and I love, Enrique, that that it's your intent from the get-go, that you start with that and then have built out a business plan around it. So I think that's really exciting. It's not an afterthought.
Thank you. And I think it's, as Greg said it's not difficult. And I think part of your question asked me to just give forward. It's easy. It shouldn't be that complicated for companies or individuals. And of course, it all starts with you as a person, right? And it's just, you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just kind of take the first step, right? It's kind of what I like to tell my kids. And so giving forward and giving back and helping people is just something that should be in our nature. I guess it is in our nature. We should just be a little bit more attentive to that and act upon it.
Yeah, I think sometimes people get a little bit stuck too, and we're going to talk a little bit about that a little later. So I know it's New Year's Eve. I can see you're at the office, so I appreciate you stopping in and sharing with us. Is there anything you'd like to share before you head out and with our audience, which seems to be plentiful and global? We got people all over the world right now.
Well, nothing particular. I think that just learning from the year that we're having and moving forward into 2021, I really hope it's going to be a good year. And just for everyone that's listening out there, just do something good for someone else, right? Something that's not expected. That could be from sharing or giving a sweater to saying good morning to just, I think that it's just the little small things that make the biggest difference. And I'll close with a kind of an anecdote. It's just a story that my brother, who's 2 years younger than me, when we were younger in Mexico, he once lent me his car to go somewhere, and I kind of saw that he had a bunch of this Hot Wheel cars in the backseat, and we were like 18, 19, and it was always like, I had no idea why he had them, and without no one telling him, he never even told us about what he was doing. He had all these different cars, because in Mexico, when you get to a stoplight, you have all these different kids asking for money or doing things at the corners. And so he would just turn back, give it to them. And I think that's something that has stuck with me for so long. And it's something so easy to do, right? Just go buy a couple Hot Wheel cars and hand it to children during your year.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah, that is a great way to get started too. Well, thanks, Enrique.
Thank you, guys.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to you too.
One bit of encouragement for you and a little bit of advice is I happen to know you're at the top of a very tight spiral staircase. So do look at all the steps on the way down, if you wouldn't mind. I'd love to have you here for 2021.
Definitely. Thank you, Greg.
Right.
Thank you, Karin. Have a happy 2021.
Happy New Year.
And to you.
That's our inspiration, right? So Karin, look, you give a lot, and you're on the board of a philanthropy that we at Supply Chain Now actually contributed to our time to this year, the Empty Stocking Fund. So kind of on the back of what Enrique shared there, which is so inspiring and so much a part of what they do as a company. And you can see it in every single Logistics with Purpose episode. We got it right there.
There you go.
And it's inspiring. Every single episode is inspiring, because not just the companies that we interview, but you can see that spirit in Enrique and his team. And I know you have the same spirit. So tell us a little bit about kind of your thoughts, your philosophy, how you contribute.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg, thanks for the opportunity. But I think if you've ever been helped in an unexpected way, and just the impact that makes on you, that somebody would take the time and help you and invest in you, whether it's something small like the Hot Wheels car at a street corner, like Enrique was just saying, or it's something more tangible like a good hot meal or a warm place to stay and shelter just to meet your living needs. When you have seen that in action, it is hard not to look for opportunities to pass that on. And certainly for me, the Empty Stocking Fund has been one of those outlets, one of those opportunities to serve children at poverty level here in the Atlanta and Georgia community. So around the holiday, but also around back to school time. And it's a good, tangible, certainly they need our financial support as well, but to have an opportunity to serve with others in such a tangible way, it is just a great experience. And so it was so much fun this year to have the Supply Chain Now team there as well. And I think it builds an amazing culture when you can share and work jointly to solve a problem, small or large, in a community or around a cause that you care about.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about getting your hands dirty, but I can tell you that that was definitely a great experience. I'm glad that you and Scott coordinated to put that together. We had family members there too, which was fantastic. I mean, it was family time as well as giving time. It was a lot of fun. Manda, who is the managing director of the organization, she knew she had logistics professionals at hand, and she took great advantage of it and acted instantaneously. I mean, some of the things that we talked about, she put into play 2 different things into play immediately. And it was good to be able to contribute that way as well, and to see that spirit of that organization. So I really appreciate you helping us to contribute there, and definitely a worthy cause. Tell us, I know it was down to the wire for you guys. Did you fill the stockings?
We filled the stockings. It was an amazing experience. And I think what you're talking about, the quick response and ability to adapt, that's something that our community is just blessed with, so many skills that they can give and contribute, and they don't even realize it because it's so second nature to them. Yeah. So I'm just going to encourage them to look for those opportunities to either firsthand contribute or mentor or, do some teaching and training. But it was a great experience, a great year. We learned a lot in the process. It's a complete supply chain transformation for the organization in the light of COVID. So lots of new and interesting things still to come.
That's outstanding. Yeah. I mean, I love this time of year. I think it gets people into the giving spirit. If you've ever watched Christmas Carol, of course it's going to get you in the giving spirit. But one of the reasons that I wanted to do this was I think that there's a great opportunity to give year round. And sometimes, especially coming up now in the next 3 months, a lot of charities have a really down season, and people, the goodness in people's hearts shifts to paying off their credit card bills or debts, or moving on into the coming year, or improving themselves. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. In fact, I encourage all of those things. But I think the other thing that people want to do, that they want to be able to give year round. And the entire purpose of this is to help people figure out how to do it so simply that it doesn't hurt to give year round, right? Physically or fiscally. So that's what we really want to get into. Hey, one quick thing, I would not be doing my job if I did not do this. And that is a quick programming note, as Scott Luton likes to call it. So one, if you like this live stream or other live streams, obviously come and subscribe on any social channel to Supply Chain Now, or to TECHquila Sunrise, or Tech Talk, or Logistics with Purpose, or any of our other series. And if you subscribe, then you hear about everything like this and more that we're doing. So, it's a great opportunity to raise your supply chain IQ and to raise your giving IQ today. So don't forget, whenever you listen, if you like what you hear, subscribe wherever you get your podcast from, or YouTube, because Supply Chain Now and TECHquila Sunrise both have YouTube channels. Karin, do we have a Tech Talk?
Tech Talk is launching too on YouTube.
Hot dog.
Yeah.
Outstanding. So you can also see us all the time. And I know that must be fun to be able to see us. I got to tell you, I'm following somebody who has a YouTube channel now, and I'm sure they have a podcast, but all I do is just turn on YouTube and just listen, not watch, because they're just sitting there doing a monologue, something boring, kind of like this. where we're just sitting here.
This is not boring. This is not boring. That's a different show, also on Supply Chain Now.
That's right. Supply chain is boring. And that's a good one, because if you want to learn about the people who've been there, done that, got us here, and are taking us forward, Supply Chain is boring, believe it or not, is a really good show.
Boring.
It is not at all. Right. Chris tries, and he tries to pitch that really boring vibe. He just doesn't pull it off very well. So, but anyway, look, the reason we're here is the kind of give forward mantra. So one more guest, and at least one more guest, but this guest I owe a little something to, because this is a previous guest on TECHquila Sunrise, and he didn't get to take a shot when we did his interview, and he has never let me forget it. So we have to bring him in. Karin, you don't have to take another shot if you don't want to, but if you do, I'm not going to discourage you. But let's bring in Kevin L. Jackson, host of Digital Transformers.
You got it.
Got it right. KJ, what's
Hey, Dawn. You better not mess up the name of my show.
I was kind of in the moment deciding, should I promote the show or the book or the fact that you are a rocket scientist or what? I mean, your resume is as long as my arm, so it's a tough choice.
Well, you know what? All you have to do is remember Project Vet. That's what I'm talking about.
So tell us about that, Kevin. First, I do owe you a shot. So
yes, you do.
All right, let me.
I think you have to start with that. It just loosens it up a little bit more.
I'm doing kind of half shots because I knew this might happen. So,
well, you see, I got some. I'm gonna take a little bit here.
All right.
There you go.
And I got a special shot glass. It says Atlanta.
Oh, there you go.
Very nice.
Right.
Mine is more piratey.
All right.
All right.
Let's do
Bottoms
this.
up.
Bottoms up. Ah, yes.
Okay.
Love that.
That's going to have to be the last one.
Greg, you're going to be in trouble.
I think people think I'm loaded on the air anyway. Now all we've done is confirm it.
There's never the last one on New Year's Eve. What are you talking about?
Well, That's true. That's true. Well, that is my yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Project Vet. So first of all, we what we want to do is help encourage people to give and help them figure out easy ways to do it, but also worthy causes. So let's talk about that, because obviously we have a fan here of Project Vet with Jermaine.
Yes, absolutely. There's Jermaine is online.
Yeah.
So you're talking about doing something that you like, different ways to give. And, they say money is easy, but what's even easier is playing a video game. So we have launched Project Vet to actually help veterans attain mental health care. Sometimes it gets very difficult. The VA does a great job, but they have limited resources.
Yeah.
So Project Vet has been designed to help veterans from all of the different lines attain mental health. And we're doing that by doing video games, because video games have been shown by the medical community to help people in recovery from things like PSTD, right? Post-trauma stress syndrome. So we actually are running multiple games in I say year long, but it's actually going to be multi-year long, multi-tournaments. And we launched just a couple of months ago with Madden 2020 or 2021. Man. We're actually also doing Fortnite and Call of Duty. So
every 13-year-old kid in America, at least, in some way, right?
The gaming community and audience, it starts, 13, 12, 11, but we have players in 20s and the 30s, even in the 40s, maybe even older. I have to check and see what our audience is. But it's something that anyone of any age can enjoy. And as you play, we have prizes and we have sponsors. And by playing, you actually bring in sponsors that help the cause. And we have partnered with multiple healthcare organizations to make it easier for vets to get the care that they need. So I think the link, Jermaine has provided the link to the Veterans Bowl.
Yeah.
There's a PS5, PlayStation 5 you could win. There are multiple quests that you can undertake, and there are prizes every week. All right. So not only can you give and help veterans, but hey, you can get a little too.
That's outstanding. What could be easier than gaming?
Right.
Why do I have a feeling that there are a handful of people who are giving right now?
Let's hope. Let's hope.
And talk about getting back 10x what you give. A PS5, the most sought after Christmas present of the entire year, right?
Right. Absolutely.
That is a really cool prize, and I love that it's got both therapeutic and fun aspects to it. And again, it is just so easy. So I really love that it's both a simple and a fun way to give back. That's fantastic.
So we're, like I said, this is going to be year round. There are multiple tournaments going. You can join at any time and play, have fun, and give, and have a great 2021.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you coming on. I know you've, first of all, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
How's that shot setting with you?
Let's do another one.
All right. I'll do it. I'm not afraid.
Hey, it's New Year's.
All right. Kevin, thank you.
My glass is empty this
2021.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Karin. Yes.
One shot with it. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Thanks, Kevin. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you soon.
This can be dangerous.
I think I said this earlier. People might think I'm actually drinking on the air. Now they're going to know what it's really like, so they'll be able to discern. Hey, yeah. I saw one comment before we get too much farther down the path here that I wanted Marie Hurst talk about simple giving. Marie, this is a fantastic idea, not one that we're going to point out. So I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. Paycheck deduction is an easy way to do it, and it can be any amount. I mean, you can literally control that. So it's pre-tax. So that's another great thing for you. It helps offset taxes for you as a worker, but it also, man, you never even see it. So it's like it doesn't hurt.
It does. You kind of forget about it, and it's intentional. You set it aside, but you don't feel like you're taking it out of your wallet later if you give from the kind of the first fruits, if you will. So yeah. Great idea, Marie.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Marie. I appreciate that. Find that we have a lot of comments. There's a lot going on in the comments here.
I told you our audience is amazing. I know, Greg, you wanted to kind of challenge us to start and think small.
So since we've kind of gone into what Give Forward is, I'd like to share kind of my 3-step program for how to get started, because I actually kind of took this idea from some people who encouraged people to get started sailing 4 or 5 decades ago. It's a very expensive venture. It's overwhelming. You're kind of putting yourself out there, which is not unlike giving or philanthropy, right? It can be overwhelming. Sometimes you wonder if it's enough, and it can be a real challenge to know what to do. So 3 things that you can do, right? So the way that I think of this is give small, give simple, and give now. The now is the important part. Starting now is the important part. And that's why the small and the simple are such important aspects of it. You want to make it something you can do, just like Marie was just showing us, something you can do that's painless and simple. Maybe even set it and forget it. That is a fantastic way to do things. So, I think that's an important way to get started. And since what we want to do is help people get started, Karin, I think that's 3 things are easy to remember: simple, small, and now.
Yep. And I think that's great advice. I think that when we can put it on autopilot, it really makes a difference, right? You can make a big impact over time with that type of attitude. But I don't want to discourage anybody from giving a one-time donation or a small donation, because I think those aggregate over time. And if we all did, 50 cents or $1 or $5, it makes a huge, huge difference in the long run and can help people in ways that we've never imagined. So pick a charity that you're excited about, that gets kind of your blood flowing, or you've got a personal connection to, and start there.
Yeah, I say this often. I am a philanthropic thug. My job is to go pry money out of people's pockets to give to charitable causes. And the argument I always make is, I don't care why you give. I just care that you give, because the philanthropy benefits just as much if you give unwillingly as if you give willingly. If you give with love in your heart as you give with love for your tax bill in your heart, right? Either way, the benefits are the same. So I think that's one way to think about it, is just give, right? Look, why small? Why simple? Obviously, I think now it is obvious, but why small? Why should small even matter? It's because you can impact more than you think. If you think about it, if you've ever been to a McDonald's or a convenience store or anywhere with a jar on the counter, you can literally give pennies. But when that jar fills up with pennies, I can assure you, because I've counted them, when that jar fills up with pennies, it could be thousands of dollars that can go to a charity. So there is no amount that's too small. 50 cents, 20 cents, 11 cents, I don't care, whatever change you got in your pocket is enough. And there are so many organizations in need, and it feels good.
It does feel good. Yeah, I think you get so much more back out of it, than you ever imagine in the process. That, skipping that cup of coffee or sharing the change from your meal, whatever it might be,
or round
really,
up. Hey,
or round up.
And round up, right? I mean, it can be something as simple as that. You don't even have to sacrifice, really. And I think sometimes people get hung up on, I know they do, because I've heard them say this, they get hung up on, I don't know if I really feel it. Look, again, I don't care if you feel it. I just care if you do it, right? And they get hung up on, is it enough? Any amount is enough, because enough little amounts add up to a lot. And you don't have to feel guilty for feeling good about it. I think there's this sort of myth that if I feel good about it, if it makes me feel good to give, then I'm somehow less giving. You're not. You're still giving 11 cents or 27 cents or $100, whether you feel good about it or whether you feel it as a sense of duty. Either way, like I said, the charity benefits a lot. So, I think the mental part of giving is as much important to overcome as the fiscal part of giving as well. So let's talk a little bit about what a charity is, just so people are clear. There's a lot of 501 organizations, Karin. We're all members of them, APICS and CSCMP and other organizations like that. Those are called 501c6. There's 1s and 4s and 3s and 6s. Just to be clear, charitable organizations, the ones that are solely charitable, are 501c3s, right? So contribute to 501c3s. That's the simple part. The simplest part of simple is that, there are ways to determine whether this is an organization, as you were talking about, Karin, whether it fits your goals. Maybe you want to give to the homeless. Maybe you want to give to disadvantaged or inner city youth. Maybe you want to give to a particular disease. I literally despise ALS, arterial lateral sclerosis, which is Lou Gehrig's disease. I hate the disease, and I hate the impact that it has on the people who have it and also the people around them. Yeah. And so I give with a lot of hate in my heart in that particular instance. I want that disease eradicated, and I want the effect of it eradicated. So, but it could, and that has a long history with me. My fraternity, Lou Gehrig was a member of my fraternity. My fraternity had that as its national cause. And our house mother in our fraternity, her husband died of ALS. And then many, many years later, our chapter advisor, Clark Jackson, he passed of ALS as well. And I just thought, I took that kind of personally. It's like the disease is trying to get us before we get it. And so that's a very long held commitment on my part. There are other things that I just contribute to lightly. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But look, give your 17 cents, round up, drop it in the box at McDonald's or your local convenience store, whatever, it all adds up. I am, as I said before, I'm one of those people who I give to all who ask of me. I just assume that if they ask, they need it more than I do. I give to beggars on the street. I'm not ashamed of it. I sometimes take a little bit of flack for it. I give to people who play their instruments on the street, whether they're good or not, though I have advised one or more musicians to actually use it to get lessons because I feel like if they were better, they'd make more money. Again, I don't care why you give, just give. I don't know, Karin, what are your thoughts, kind of on easy ways to give or ways that folks can kind of
I agree. Yeah, I agree completely. And I think that some of the really savvy companies and brands are making it part of their culture or part of their market mission today. And I think that makes it easy. You hear about even things like, I think of Jersey Mike's, which is a sandwich shop, a submarine shop, but they picked up a charity around firefighters and do a percentage of their revenue goes to support firefighters in making sure that they have the equipment and safety products that they need so that they can serve their communities. So that's, and again, you give that, you don't even know, or you may not be aware that you're giving to that. But that was the reason we switched from one shop to another shop and still got a good high quality meal out of it. But we felt like, there was a little bit of money going in the direction to help a variety of communities. So I think there's opportunities like that even at the grocery store. So there's lots of those kind of passive opportunities that we just have to nod yes to and do the roundup or do the contribution that way as well.
Yeah. And I think there are companies that are probably worth naming, right? Tom's, right?
Yep,
Warby Parker. And I think you identified
Bombas, the sock company.
Socks. Yes, but
most expensive socks. But the reason is every time you buy a pair, they're given a pair.
Yeah, and they do last a while because I have actually bought them before.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole reason I bought them was their philanthropy or their mission in the market, and they lead with that. It's not an afterthought. They lead with that, and I'll tell you this, Greg, it really gets people excited. To either show off the brand that they're wearing or to talk about it or just to simply know that, that they've been able to help somebody locally or around the world somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think there are so many more brands that we didn't name. Those are just really prominent examples. And it's easy to find out if they do give, if you go to their site, or there are actually sites out there that help you identify brands and retailers that give. One of the things that kind of prompted the reason to have this discussion was I got the notification from I'm going to mention them, my Amazon Smile account. So one of the things I do is smile.amazon.com. If you use the app, you can direct the app to always use Smile, and a small portion of what you buy goes to a charity of your choice. And I think I gave $370-ish to ALS through just what I bought on Amazon Smile for a year. So that was super easy. I love the affirmation of it. There are other organizations that do that. In fact, while kind of researching a little bit, I found Giving Assistant. So givingassistant.org, that even more money than Amazon Smile goes to the actual charities, and the charities pay nothing. Brand sponsors actually help contribute to their marketing dollars to go to these charities as well. So givingassistant.org, that's one I'm about to insert into my repertoire. And I love the fact that even more money goes to the charities through that.
Yeah. And I do think, if it's a new charity to you, to our listeners, be sure to go and check it out, vet it, make sure that the money is going, predominantly to serve the intent of the organization versus being eaten away by administrative costs or anything along those lines. So I think you've got some good guidelines maybe for us, Greg.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Look, this is just my policy. I don't give to anyone who doesn't give at least 80% of all funds donated to the recipients or beneficiaries. Beneficiaries. Thank you. I was trying to say benefactors, but that's us, isn't it? The beneficiaries. And that's easy to figure out. There's actually a site, Clay, maybe you can drop this in there, charitynavigator.org. If you want to drop that in the comments, it's charitynavigator.org. And you can check out that's the easiest way of checking out a charity. You can also actually look at their 990, the form, IRS form 990 talks about how they give and where their funds give. And to Karin's point, just this one notification. Goodwill is probably one of the most popular, quote unquote, charities out there. I'm not a huge fan. I don't give to Goodwill and I don't shop at Goodwill because around 12%, to the point you were making, Karin, only around 12% of what you donate to Goodwill actually goes to the beneficiaries. And in fact, at Goodwill in 2018, they paid employees as little as 22 cents an hour. They paid out $53.7 million in bonuses. Their structure is such that all of the chapters, all of the locations are independent, which makes it very difficult to verify because even Charity Navigator and other watchdog kind of facilities, they can only track the national organization. So it makes it very easy for them to obfuscate where the funds go. Not a fan. Their CEO is legendary for making millions of dollars a year. Just the California CEO made $1.1 million, I think, in 2018. So again, do as you feel led. I feel led to run far and fast away from Goodwill. And just so everyone knows, there are alternatives out there. I'm a huge fan, especially when we're talking about clothes or home goods and things like that. Where I have found it to be most effective is giving to faith-based organizations. If you have a local church or a charity thrift shop or something like that, they give almost 100% of everything that comes in to beneficiaries. So my personal choice is Must Ministries. It's a Methodist facility that happens to be here in Marietta, Georgia. And I know that they do a great job. So we give all of our physical goods to them and then let them give to folks in need. So that's my only warning. But again, I want to give you the alternative, which is to find another outlet for that. In fact, my youngest daughter got a Goodwill card for Christmas, and she said a gift card, and she said, "Dad, should I turn this in?" I'm like, "Well, money's spent now. They've got it.
Right. Yeah.
Get the value out of it." So.
But it does paint an important point. I mean, you want to make sure, especially when you're giving financial donations, that you want to make sure that money is going to the intended purpose. And it's great to have, a website you can check and just verify in that process. The other thing around the Amazon Smile that I really like is they give you a wide variety of funds to choose from. And they've vetted those organizations as well. And again, it becomes easy, right? Anytime you place an order, they're able to, to kind of reserve that. And it's always fun at the end of the year to see what that total aggregate was. And you didn't feel it at all.
Yeah, that's right. But let's talk about where you do feel it a little bit. So let's talk about when you give more than money, because I think if we talk about giving simple, money is the simplest thing to give, right? It's just so easy, right? If you want to give a little bit more, or you're feeling led to physically participate like Karin does with the Empty Stocking Fund. I mean, you can donate, as we talked about. You can donate unused items, or you can donate your time or skills. I want you to understand that because the theme here is right, go small, go simple, and go now. That when we talk about giving of your physical gifts, that's not always simple. It's not always small, and it's not always now, especially in this time, right? It can be a little bit of a struggle to find how you can physically contribute to an organization. So, but with just that little bit more effort, the benefits can be exponential for the charity, for the philanthropy, and it's so energizing to bust your knuckles working on something that is doing good, right?
Yeah. And I love to have kind of that personal connection with some of the organizations that my family contributes to financially. So that's one of the things that I think is great about, things like the Empty Stocking Fund or other organizations that you can go and do something. And I want to encourage our audience, Greg, because our audience is a talent pool. These folks have got mad skills that can be used to solve a wide variety of problems and opportunities in the marketplace. So whether they are the manpower, the physical labor that is moving things from point A to B, or they're using some of their ingenuity on how to improve a process, or how to reach a new community, or even how to automate something from a technology perspective. These are things that they can contribute very easily because their talent is so deep and honed. It's easy for them. It might be really difficult, or a real need for the charity or the foundation that you're working with. So think about that as well. And sometimes those things can be done in a remote way as well as in an in-person format. Yeah. And for some folks, giving of their time and talent might be a little bit easier maybe than their financial pools at any given point in time. But it's an opportunity to really get a lot back. I mean, you really get a sense of achievement when you're able to show some improvement or help them reach a larger audience. Could be a variety of things.
I'm glad we're having this conversation because I think, one, it does matter where you personally are in your life. If you have time but not money, give that, right? As I said, for me right now, and maybe that's linear thinking to say time is harder to give than money for me right now, right? But if you're at a point in your life, give, as Scott loves to say, and I love that he says it this way. And I'm going to hint at Scott actually coming on to share a few words with us. And I'm going to watch down here and see if he's shaking his head. No way, I'm not going to do that. Or I may just introduce him into the live stream and just surprise him. Not yet, Clay. But give from what you have, right? Yep. So if what you have is time, give time. If what you have is unused goods, give that. If what you have is money, give it. If you can give all of those or any of those, that's all so powerful, right?
It really is.
And I got to tell you, I cannot stress enough, give selfishly. Give selfishly. Give to make yourself feel good. I'm a firm believer that if enlightened self-interest is one of the best ways to do good for other people. Give. If you feel sad, give, right? If you feel guilty, give, right? If you feel pain because you've been personally impacted by, like I have with ALS, or you've been personally impacted by a disease, give to fight that thing. So it doesn't have to be completely altruistic. Again, the benefit to the charity is the same regardless. So Scott has left the room, so I can see. So he doesn't want to be on. Amanda, do you want to nod your head, Amanda? Okay, good. We're going to bring Amanda on. Can you add her?
Oh, great. See you.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, you're muted. Welcome to 2020. You can't do that anymore in 2021, folks. I think, by the way,
I should have known better.
One of the gifts we need to give ourselves is something that like hits us in the head. if we are still muted.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you shared a poignant point, and I wanted to give you just a chance to share a little bit about that. So
yeah. Well, and David, he commented on what I commented too. You know, sometimes if you don't have the money, you can, you know, oftentimes you do have some time. And, you know, what I had done over the, actually before I was working more full time with supply chain now, I have my own marketing firm, Magnolia Marketing Group. And every Tuesday I would do a Tuesday tips at 12, just sharing social media information and knowledge. And then that kind of led to a couple of additional classes, like with just the local Chamber of Commerce, which led to another couple of classes with some different industry associations.
yeah,
Just giving, sharing information, sharing the knowledge that I've gained and kind of expertise within social media and digital marketing. And when you're working with people that don't have the funds to pay for marketing or don't have the funds to pay for whatever, but you can share that knowledge. You can see, I mean, of course, and it was all on Zoom calls, you know, this year, but you can see on their face taking notes, and you can see that impact right away. And it's stuff that, you know, comes second nature to me because I do it every single day. But it's new information. It's free. You know, it's a great way to share that. You can see the impact right away. And that is very rewarding. And I agree with you, Greg, you know, to give selfishly, because it's not a bad thing that giving makes you feel good. And it in fact, I think it encourages you to give more and to do more. You know, what's bad about that, right?
yeah, right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with everybody feeling good about giving, including the giver. And I think subconsciously we get kind of bound up in that. You know, again, to go back, is it enough? Right? Is it enough to make a difference? And the answer is any amount is enough to make a difference.
Yep.
Well, you know,
I even think
do I need to feel a certain way about it? Absolutely not. I can tell you because I have literally pried money away from rich people to give to ALS, for instance, in the past. And we got every single penny of it, regardless of how they felt about it. Some of them gave willingly, some of them not nearly as willingly, but we still got the same amount of money. So
right. And that's the important part. Well, and I think too, a lot of people do get caught up in the fact, well, I can't give $100 or I can't give, you know, I can't make a big difference. That's not the point. You know, you can round up. I know that we can round up like our energy bill to the nearest dollar. And gives
exactly.
You can roll up at the grocery store. You know, you can roll up that to the nearest dollar, that extra 75 cents that goes to local children's shelter or whatever. But I think that that's important too. We don't have to think so big, you know, we can make big impacts just in our local communities. Like we started following our church, of course, you know, donates to and supports a lot of local organizations. But I started following the local food bank, the Gwinnett Co-op or whatever it's called, right here in town because our church supports it. But they post their needs on Facebook and then we provide them. It's that easy. You know, it's just following the folks on Facebook and sending in the canned foods or the packs of diapers they need or whatever that need may be. But it can be very simple. And I do think those smaller, more localized giving opportunities really make big impacts. It feels small because it may not feel like we're making a sacrifice or like it's impacting our lives so much. But I think that they can impact those local lives, those people, your local community and the people right around you in a really, really great way.
Yeah, and those local organizations need a lot less.
They need it bad,
to do good, right? So,
absolutely. So great examples, Amanda. Great examples of using your talents in such a way. I love that. And
and
thank you, Chris.
And Corinne, sorry,
AA, putting it to you.
I don't have a shot glass.
He's throwing down the gauntlet. It's okay.
Ready.
We have plenty of time to do that. We have plenty of time to do that, but I love his giving spirit. He wants everyone to take a shot. But Amanda, you bring up a good point, and Corinne, you alluded to this earlier, and that is you don't have to get out from behind your laptop to help.
Right.
It doesn't have to be physical pain. It can be those gifts, and it could be gifts that you give to the organization or to individuals. Again, the beneficiaries. Thank you for reminding me of the word, Corinne, of the organization. So,
yeah. But I love your theme about, giving small or starting somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Make it simple. Make it something you're passionate about. Make it something that's easy for you.
Yep.
And then get started or give now. I forget how you said it. What was it again, Greg? Give me those
Give
3.
small. So it's probably time for us to wrap up, or Scott's going to cut us off anyway. So
a big thumbs up. So we're good.
he said we're good. Okay, good. Well, hey, we're about to approach another. So it should be, I think, in Dhaka, Ashfaq. I think it's about to be midnight in
Hey, another New Year's.
Bangladesh. Yeah.
Woo! Is that another shot? Does that mean you need to
No.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if Scott was going to the kitchen to pull out the vodka or something. Yikes.
Well, I guess we ought to go ahead and stay on until we hit midnight one more place, because I did a little bit of looking at the map. So there's a couple places in Mongolia, the eastern part of India, Bangladesh, and northern Russia, several cities whose names I can't even announce or pronounce. It will be New Year's there in just a few seconds. Hold on, I will let you know how many seconds, or it may turn while we're doing this. Oh, yeah.
Going to do the countdown?
Right now, it is Happy
There
New Year.
it goes. Woo!
Yay!
Hey, we wish
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's, and we haven't been through it yet ourselves. So, look, let's wrap up, because I want to let everybody get to partying and enjoying and wrapping up their day. And I feel like I really appreciate Karin, you joining me for the whole thing. Enrique for sharing what he did, which was so insightful. Kevin Jackson, I owed him a drink, and I can't think of a better way to do it than to have one and to talk about giving. And Amanda, of course, great to have you on here to share your insights about how you all as a family give and how you enable us as a company at Supply Chain Now to give as well. So really appreciate that. Let me just share a few final thoughts here, because I think we've kind of talked around and right at some of this, but I want to just tell them what you're going to tell them, right, Karin, and then tell them what you told them so people remember. So look, again, give small, right? Give simple, and give now. And as everyone here has kind of said, all things in moderation. Don't feel compelled to give till it hurts. There used to be this theme, give till it hurts. Give till it feels good. That's all you need to do. Just give anything. And as I've said before, this is one of my favorite themes. There is abundance in the universe, and you, all of you, are part of that abundance. And abundance is not a huge mass. Abundance is made of tiny, tiny microns. And that is the way in which we build abundance. So remember, even just a tiny gift can be part of that abundance. And before I do kind of a final wrap, I would love, Karin, if you could just share maybe some final thoughts or observations, as we wrap up here.
Absolutely. I echo what you said. I love your 3 points. I love about keeping it easy and simple and getting started today. And then look for something that long-term you want to be a part of, whether it's your example with ALS or an example through your faith-based organization or through teaching children or, providing food for people who are, in need of a good meal. There's just so much opportunity around us and on a global basis. And I love what Enrique shared about being intentional and thinking of it from the get-go. And it's a big part of the Supply Chain Now culture. And I really love that, because it gives us an opportunity to serve together and to grow together in a lot of different ways, and to use our talents, as diverse and as similar as they are in different areas, to really accomplish more together. Yeah,
I completely agree. And I can't say it enough. You get far more than you give. I was just thinking about how much I get every time I give, and it feels really, really good. Anyway, all right. Seriously, we probably should wrap up now, though I feel like I could go till midnight here. Probably should not. I'm sure we're paying by the hour for this, aren't we?
I was worried I wouldn't get a word in edgewise, Greg, because I know that you're so passionate about this. So just thanks for letting me join you on the show and in the conversation today.
I wouldn't have done it without you. And frankly, I had to be very intentional, as not to just talk the whole time. So I actually wanted to be very intentional about including you and everyone else in the conversation. Look, thanks to Amanda, thanks to Enrique, thanks to Kevin Jackson, thanks to Clay, who's behind the scenes right now making all this happen. Thanks to Scott for making this whole thing happen. Thanks to all of you out there. Just a couple final thoughts. Look, TECHquila Sunrise, Tech Talk, Supply Chain is Boring, Digital Transformers, Logistics with Purpose, and more are all part of the Supply Chain Now digital network, the voice of supply chain, my opinion, and our tagline. Do reach out, because these are good people, as you've seen today. Reach out and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. You can listen live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, yeah, right, LinkedIn, and YouTube, as some of you are doing today. So thank you for joining us. And on behalf of the entire team here at Supply Chain Now, I want to wish you Happy New Year. Remember, give small, give simple, give now. And as I always say at the end of every TECHquila Sunrise, acknowledge reality, but refuse to be bound by it. Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year.
TECHquila Sunrise is part of the Supply Chain Now network, the voice of supply chain, featuring the people, technologies, best practices, and key issues in the industry. And hey, listen up. To build your supply chain knowledge, listen to, get this, Supply Chain is Boring, where Chris Barnes connects you to the who's who that got supply chain where we are, point us to where we're going, and take us to the next level. Or check out This Week in Business History with Supply Chain Now's own Scott Luton to learn more about everyday things you may take for granted and pick up quick insights you can use as inspiration and conversation starters. Our Logistics with Purpose series puts a spotlight on inspiring and successful organizations that give first, give forward as their business model. If you're interested in transportation, freight, and logistics, have a listen to the Logistics and Beyond series with the Adapt and Thrive Mindset Sherpa, Jamin Alvidrez, and also check out Tech Talk, hosted by industry vet and Atlanta's own Karin Bursa, Supply Chain Pro to Know of 2020, where Karin discusses the people, processes, and technology of digital supply chain. For sponsorship information on TECHquila Sunrise or any Supply Chain Now show, DM me on Twitter or Instagram at Gregory S. White, or email me at greg@supplychainnow.com. Thanks again for spending your time with me, and remember, acknowledge reality, but never be bound by it.